Hello everybody, we're back with some modded Minecraft today. And again, we'll probably do a little bit of a short episode. Not going to play and spend a ton of time on it. But we've got a little bit of stuff to do, and I disabled this servo, put all this stuff in here. And we're going to do something with basically all of this stuff today. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a red heart canister. So you can either use aluminum or tin and then a single bone to make an empty canister. Actually, there's another piece that I need, which requires, if I'll find the right chest, some diamonds. Did I have? Yep, there we go. Alright, so to make this canister, let's see if that'll, there we go. Red heart canister. We need an empty canister, which I just made, a red heart, which is kind of a rare drop from different mobs, a necrotic bone, which you can only get from wither skeletons. You might can find it in loot chests, and then a jeweled apple, which is an apple and 4 diamonds. So let's go ahead and make this. It's a pretty easy recipe. It's just kind of rare ingredients. And they can be used for other stuff, can be eaten to restore 10 hearts, but to me that's kind of a waste. So if I open up my inventory, I think it's in this slot. Yep, you see these right here. There's red, yellow, and green heart canisters. So you can only put 10 of each type. So there is a maximum health you can get up to. But let's watch down on the bottom left, or I guess kind of bottom center. You see that yellow heart now? I now have 11 hearts, or 11 points down there. So it's kind of neat, and I think whenever you die, these stay here. You don't drop them, which is really nice. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is, part of the reason we went to the nether is to get this glowstone dust. And we're going to use that in our alloy smelter. Let's change this over to alloys. And there we go. We're going to make some energetic alloy. I think that's what it's called. And while that's cooking up, I'm going to make some capacitors. So let's do a little search real quick. Alright, basic capacitors. Let's go ahead and make those. Alright, so we need it to make double layer capacitors. This is the alloy we're making. It requires redstone, gold, and glowstone. To get to the octadic, or however you want to pronounce it, capacitor, you need more glowstone, double layer capacitors, and then vibrant alloy. Vibrant alloy requires, if I can get to it, ender pearls. So that's a little bit, that's the next tier that we're gonna go to. There's enough for one anyways. So I got some pulverized coal. This came from about 16 pieces of coal, I think. So you see, for a double layer it requires 2 basic capacitors for each one. And there we go. So this can make a big difference in Ender IO machines. So if you look at the Stirling generator and I mouse over my coal, it generates 16,000 RF at 20 RF per tick. If I put in the double layer capacitor, well, first it can hold 100,000 RF. If I put this in, it goes to 200,000 RF, and it generates 42,680 RF at 40 RF per tick. So this is a really nice upgrade to put in here. So it increases the energy storage and then speed and range of machines. So this is a really nice upgrade and will help a lot with power generation and that type of thing. Alright. So now whenever I've got both of these running, I'm generating about 80 RF per tick instead of 40. So it's double, and I'm getting more out of each piece of coal I put in, which is really a good thing. Now, where does this guy come from? There we go. Alright, so let's check on our compressed cobblestone. We've actually got enough to make at least one quintuple compressed cobblestone. So eventually I'm going to make some more of these world interaction upgrades. I missed it. There we go. Alright. So I'm going to show you something that I meant to show you before I went into the nether, actually. Let me put some of this stuff away so I don't have to worry about it. Alright. And that is my mining area. So it's kind of an odd way to get there. Alright, I can probably make a better path. But it was a low spot in a cave that I decided to just start digging down. There we go. Had a little bit of a freeze there. I'll probably cut that. But I decided to start digging down, and I might have actually, yeah, I think I used my hammer on this. That's why it's a 3 wide staircase. And I've got different branches going out to the side whenever I get down to some of the lower levels. But at the bottom, I went ahead to bedrock. And you'll see I've kind of cleared out a pretty good area. So a lot of times after a mining trip, this inventory will be full of ores and things, and this bag will be completely full of cobblestone. And I just go ahead and drop it in the system up there that's compressing it and all of that. So something that's kind of neat in this mod pack. So let's see here. So let's say I want to figure out this shiny ore, alright, and how to get it. So it looks like there's no natural spawn rate for it, so maybe I need to pick a different one. Let's do gold. That one's kind of easy, and I know it's in here. So if I select not the gravel ore, there it is, the gold ore. Alright, it shows you all the ways of getting it, even to this. So it shows the ore generation levels, and at what Y level it is the you're most likely to find it, or the best area. So it looks like between 33 and 1 is about level in terms of how often it spawns. So it's kind of neat whenever you can search that way and find it. So a little bit different would be copper, which I don't think you find at the lower levels. So if I yeah, so basically there's no way to find it below, looks like about level 40 or maybe 39. So the ideal level, they kind of pick one in the middle, it looks like, but between 40 and 77-ish, something like that, is the best place to find copper. So that's kind of a nice thing to have there. Now this I can't do anything with until I get into Engineer's Toolbox a little bit, and I'm not really familiar with that mod very much. So yeah, let's head back up here, and I'm actually going to turn my jetpack off so I don't just waste the energy from it. I really need to cut this place out a little bit and put some stairs in. It'd be really nice, or even maybe the open blocks elevators. Be kind of cool. But again, those require ender pearls. I've got a few, but not enough to where I'm really wanting to use them a lot. So yeah, that's kind of my little mining area I clear out. Aside from going and finding ravines and other caves and things. And see, this is actually really close to the surface here. But because I'm kind of built on a mountain, I've got to go up a little bit more. Here we go. And we're back up at our little cobblestone generation system. So I really need to go ahead and make some more world interaction upgrades for this thing. And I actually went mining earlier. Got a lot more lapis and stuff like that. So I'll show you what I've got in these ore chests. I've got more than a stack of redstone blocks, 24 lapis blocks, which is kind of nice. This is what I got from my trip to the Nether. I got some cobalt and ardite, which I will probably use to make some tools here in the future, or here soon. I've got almost 2 stacks of iron ore, more than a stack and a half of lead. So quite a bit there. And then this chest, I've got 29 diamonds, which I just used 4 of them. Some obsidian and some different things in here. Still got this steel chest plate. I haven't melted it down yet. Pulsating iron. So this just kind of gives you an idea. I've got more than 2 stacks of nether quartz, which I can use to put sharpness on things. Here's my little loot chest. I've got some blaze rods and soul sand there. I'll probably start a nether wart farm soon, and just set that up somewhere. Alright, we're back. Had a little interruption there. So let's just do a little bit of overview. I know I haven't posted much lately, so we'll do a little bit of looking here. We've got a lot of these ore berries, and actually I'm probably gonna make one of those drawers to compress them, because most of these, the crafting recipe, you just do a 3x3 to get the ingot. There are a few exceptions with the aluminum here. The aluminum I might just put in my smeltery. The tin, yep, you can just do a 3x3. So yeah, I'll probably do that. I don't know if I'll do it off camera or what. Now, something I did notice, it filled up with sludge, but it will still work if you power it. So it's just used all the energy, and part of the reason it used all the energy is because I planted some oak saplings around here, so it would automatically gather the wood. And if you noticed in that chest, there's actually quite a bit of wood there. So that's part of the reason it's doesn't have much energy in here. So I've got quite a bit of wood. And part of the idea behind that is if I need to make some charcoal or something like that, I can. Alright. So this is just kind of a review type episode. We did a little bit, got an extra heart, so now I'm a little bit harder to kill. But this is just kind of getting back in the swing of things, getting back familiar with where everything's at. I've still got my little sugarcane and wheat farm down here. It's not big, but I've got plenty of bread. If you noticed, actually let's turn this back on. But if you noticed in the chest above my little furnace, it has about, how much was it? Yeah, 17 stacks of toast. So I'm not really hurting for food at the moment. And maybe at some point I'll try out the culinary generators and see how they do. But yeah, maybe next episode we'll do a little bit of work and see if we can get an auto crafting system going for those ore berries, and might figure out some way to use this toast. Alright, so anyways, this is Stonewall signing off, and I'll see you in another video.